So guys, welcome back to episode... Oh! The doors are locked. Nah, don't tell me they're fixed now. Don't tell me they're fixed now. Oh, great. Friggin' locked out. Right, well I guess I'll have to open that new lovely fancy dancy doody sliding door and climb through this shithole. Really strange. And honestly, right, I didn't mean to do that. That was not staged. Let me get the sun out my eyes so you can see me. Get up there, boys. Right, that was not staged whatsoever. It's really annoying me, these doors not being able to lock. Now I can hear the back mechanisms going, but I can't hear these ones going. And I had a look before, but it was just a quick little glance. So what I'm going to do is strip this door card down, and then I'm going to check the wiring between the door to see if there's any loose wires. I'm getting an error both sides, and I've heard that a common problem on these Caddies, Audis, V-dubs is it's related to a connection in here somewhere. So I'm going to pull it off. I don't know how it comes off yet. I'm going to get a little small screwdriver in there, take that rubber off, take the door card off, which is literally 2 screws, 1 screw in there and 1 screw in there. Now I've took the handle off, and I'm going to check the wiring because there must be something loose. Something's got to be loose. It's on this side and it's on this side, so I'm just wondering whether if one side's knackered, will it throw an error up on the other side because it's just all gone a bit Pete-tong. So let's strip both them door cards down and then let's have a look, see if we can find this issue, because it's really starting to piss me off. Yes guys, you have guessed it. Now we're going to start stripping down the door card. There's a couple of torque screws inside the door handle and a couple of torque screws underneath, and they just pop off nice and easy. Checking everything out, it looks really good. Looks like there's no issues whatsoever. I am then looking at the plug. My attention turns to the plug to try and find out if there's any stretched wires, damaged cables, you name it, because on the forums there's loads of issues with regards to the cables in the door, but actually checking everything, it looks really good. Power to the door is still there. It seems to be some form of module, that control module maybe that we've seen on the code reader on the second video. So we turn our attention to the passenger side door, and again, looking into all of this, it looks absolutely fine. So I'm probably going to need that VCDS software off one of you guys. So all I'm looking for here guys is basically inside these terminal blocks, anything that's cracked, pulled, stretched. Same in here, I can't see anything looking out of the ordinary, which is good I suppose. I'm not sure what this little wire is here, but we'll trace it back, probably for the radio somewhat. However, they look good, so we'll strip this door card down and then we're going to have a look at that. But the connections between the doors and everything, this is where the problems normally occur by the sounds of it. But now why on earth would somebody want to cover up? Well, this is just a van for tools, but it's blacked out glass, so I don't know why anyone would want to cover it up unless they didn't want anybody to get in, but that'll do as a new door card. And I think the same applies on this door as well. So I took it upon myself to take off the door card on this secondary, on this passenger door, because I thought there's no harm in trying. Let's have a look, let's see what the cables look like. But actually the cables are fine between the doors, and once I managed to get this popped off, there was one cable that went to basically a wing mirror, but that was absolutely fine. But what I'm noticing now is actually when you lock the doors, the majority of the doors do lock other than the driver's side door, so there's got to be something wrong or not coded with the module. I need to get all of that VCDS software and take a little bit of a deeper look, because there's got to be an underlying problem somewhere. I just don't know where it is. So next on the list was a right turn signal light bulb open short. Now you can see basically because the plug is absolutely knackered. Somebody's just chowed it off with the teeth basically. So what I've done is temporarily put it back together. It is working now, but I am going to order from the cable right up to the module, just so I get that nice crimped finish at the cable side and not into the plug. It's a bit of a bodge job for now, but it'll do until I get the part. let's have a look at these injectors then, guys. So we finally hit the time that we've all wanted to see. What the hell is wrong with this VW Caddy? Now, I've heard a lot about the 1.6 TDIs having major problems with these injectors, and that's why they're so highly priced at £650 from Euro Car Parts, which is absolutely ridiculous because they're in so much demand. Everybody needs these injectors because the 1.6 TDI is an awful engine supposedly, and I just managed to pick one up for £900 and the injector's £600, but obviously I'm not going to buy one brand new. I'm going to get mine refurbished. So what I'm doing in the video clip here is I'm just unplugging the injector to try and find which one doesn't change the engine when you unplug it. Now, silly me, I was working in all sorts of random orders, but what I've heard is you've got to now work from the water pump, which is on the left hand side and where the timing belt is. So you have to work from the left hand side across the engine, and that's basically start on 1, 2, 3 and 4. After doing that test, it looks like injector 1 for me is the problematic one, and I think if you look at the start of the clip, you'll see that when I fired it up there was a little bit of smoke or a little bit of something coming from that injector, and that may be why we are getting some residue out of the exhaust. So on Monday I'm picking up a new injector, second-hand brand new injector from something that's been absolutely written off from a rear end collision, and I'm picking that up for £80, so it's very cheap. Obviously it may go again, the other ones may go as well, but like you say, for 80 quid you can afford to replace them as and when you need them, and if you can do it yourself it's even better. So while we're waiting for that injector to come, in this next clip I am showing you I haven't got a clue what I'm looking at, what I'm doing, how I test, how I find out, but I'm learning every time. I'm doing a lot of research, there's a lot of forums out there which you guys are really helping me as well inside the comments, so please keep them up. So while waiting for the injectors, we think it's injector 1, which is fantastic. Let's move on to sorting that next error code out, which is the rear light bulbs on the vehicle. So looking at both the registration lamp holders, they're both knackered, they're both worse for wear, and that's probably why someone put a blanking plate over the top of them, because really they couldn't be arsed changing it or sorting them out. But let me tell you now that for your MOT you need to make sure you've got lamps inside your registration, because generally they will fail you on that as well. It's not an advisory, it's a failure. These lamps are failures. So most people, if it was just a lamp or a bulb out, they'd change it for you and pass your MOT, that's not a problem. However, if the unit's knackered and they don't work, then it will become a failure. So I'm getting everything ready for April 2025 when this van needs to go through its next MOT, so that's why. And we've also got a light on the dash for the lights, as you're seeing, and really we don't want that. We've got to get all the lights off the dash and get this thing running exactly how we would want it to drive. So I'm just stripping out all of the old carcasses, so I've got all the plastic out, and what I'm going to do is put the wires into a Wago connection again until the new unit arrives. Once the new unit arrives, I'll solder them into place, get them installed, and that'll be another job off the list. But again, we're waiting for parts at the minute, and parts are a nightmare, and these little things are so hard to get hold of because you're looking for the ones that are compatible with VW that won't bring the light up on the dashboard. So really you've got to either find one, i.e. a breaker's yard that has them, or you need to buy specific ones, but they cost like 25 quid a bulb and a chassis. Well, you're not going to pay £25 when really they're only a £5 piece from a breaker or from a scrapyard. So, and I'm quite tight with my pennies, so I want to make sure that when I'm doing things, £25 for one hole, that's 50 quid, that's a waste of money. I can wait a week, there'll be another Caddy breaking, and I can get them sent out to me. It's not the end of the world, peeps. So next thing on the list we've got to get done is the rear seats. Now I have been trying to get this rear seat out of this van for a long time. Got a major problem with the bolt, it's sat behind the fuel tank. I haven't got a ramp, so I'm not going to be able to drop the fuel tank, so I've got to get it from the top. But by gosh, it is causing me a bloody nightmare. And as somebody said in the comments, these seats are not installed correct, especially for this van. So yeah, it's just another bodge job that's been done, you know, just probably to get a couple of lads in to use it as a crew cab van. I'm not complaining, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you've got to do these things, but honestly you're making my life a little bit harder. But hey ho, let's crack on with this and let's see where we're up to. So I'm getting underneath the van to start removing the bolts for the seats, as you can see here, and I'll just slide along in a minute and I'll find the bolt, or I'll at least think I've found the bolt for where the seat is, and I start to undo something, and then honestly I had an absolute nightmare, and you guys in the comments will let me know what bolt I've just undone and then what issue I had after. I didn't record it because I was panicking, because I was on my drive on my own and it was a bloody nightmare, but let me know in the comments which bolt I just undone, and let me know what the problem would have been when I undone that bolt. So after a little bit of a nightmare when I undone that bolt and something magically started dropping down that I didn't expect to do on the drive, guys in the comments let me know what it was. I managed to get the seat out, as you can see. So there's one out, but the other one is an absolute nightmare because it's under something else and I've had to tackle it from the top.
Yeah, to get this out. Next one needs to come out. That won't be able till tomorrow now, because that is just an absolute jobless.
So some of the bolts were actually riv-nutted in. Again, thanks to the subscriber who said how bad these seats were installed, because they weren't installed properly, they were just thrown in. So we started cleaning up with a wire wheel brush on a drill adapter. I like that on the floor. It tends to work really nice. It takes all the crap up, all the dust up, and then just hoover up as you go along. It is perfect, and I am a big sucker for keeping things nice and clean, and this was just awful. So yeah, wire wheel brush all the way along, and then started to give it a lick of paint. This is a protection paint that protects metal, and then in the rusty areas I will use a solution called crust to help prevent and protect that rust. Any bad parts I'll take out and weld, and believe me, there is some bad parts, and they're going to be coming in the next episode, because yeah, it's a little bit frightening. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and I will see you guys on the next one.